Recorded.
Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who are the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become. In being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 340th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace, here on Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I will be host once again in this wonderful weekly workshop. And once again, we are joined with members and support members of the Universal Council, who will be presenting today's workshop. And let me get that fired up here, and I think we're ready to go.
Thank you, Rick. It's Dean here. I'm going to be giving the introduction to the One Planet, One Nation, One Race in this moment. The introduction we just listened to, we just saw the beauty of the knowledge that was shared. I remember listening to this some moments ago, and I remember it touched my soul deeply. I felt it and understood some of it and received from the universe, the universal flow of love and care, knowledge and understanding when I received in that moment, when my soul decided to receive that that gift. So can you imagine if the universe and its inhabitants wanted to be present with us to help humanity and all the created creatures? What form would that take, be present in? What would the family from the stars want to do? How would they fit in? What would they look like? And be present that man sees. I made man in the image of myself. These children carry a very beautiful light within. They fit in. However, the soul has the ethos of creation. do no harm. Enhance the others, give to receive in peace. The energy of peace from the Creator, present in each and every one of us, we, in the soul of man and all the beauties that are present in all the forms across the whole planet. Again, going back to the introduction, we heard about each and every one of us being a star. The soul is present. The gift from the Creator within our structure is present within us. 6 or 7, was it 7 or 8 billion of us? The seeds for the universe, according to your strength. So in this moment, you received the knowledge. Receive the strength of your understanding and be present in this moment to receive the gift of the Universal Council's wonderful souls that are present for you, to share their soul for you to receive and allow it to be for you. Welcome, welcome, all of you, to the beautiful and incredible knowledge and understanding from the souls that are here to serve you and help you to understand your own beauty that you are part of. Thank you all and welcome. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Dean. Well said. And now we have the readings of the wishes with members of the Universal Council. And I believe we're starting with Marinez.
We, the Universal Council, and Universal Council support, give from our souls to inflow of the money and resources for expansion and independence of Keshe Foundation. Our wishes is our command.
We are present.
We, the Universal Council team, wish that men understand, with the ethos of Mitra, that creation of a child with the soul only through the soul of the man is the divine way without attachments. In a way, it is the completion of the divine of mankind.
We are present.
We elevate the soul of mankind, that he recognize no destroying or killing is necessary when he absorb the energy of the universe.
We are present.
The Universal Council wish all beings to increase and use the knowledge of the universe through their soul.
We are present.
Lily?
Okay. Yes, Mar. Thank you. Muy bien. Bueno, vamos a sentarnos en un lugar cómodo y vamos a estar en una posición recta y vamos a hacer 3 respiraciones profundas para conectar con nuestra alma. Si queremos, podemos cerrar los ojos. Nos conectamos con todos los miembros del Consejo Universal a través de nuestras almas y con todos los buscadores de conocimiento de todo el mundo para hacer esta conexión con nuestras almas. En este momento evocamos una emoción de amor incondicional para que estemos todos conectados y todos nuestros deseos se manifiesten. En este momento hago una petición especial para la localidad de Chalco, en el Estado de México, que encuentren pronta solución a su conflicto que están viviendo y que las personas encuentren paz y tranquilidad. Damos gracias a todos por estar aquí y por participar en esta conexión con el alma. Gracias.
Hello, everyone. Andrea is speaking, support member from the German community. Now we come to our weekly invitation. We invite all knowledge seekers, especially the newcomers to Keshe Foundation, to join our daily invitation to unifying with all souls at 9 p.m. Central European Summertime. It's a wonderful opportunity to feel the emotions and the field strength of all participants of each race and each nation on this planet. We all are here to unite us for world peace, abundance, compassion, and to learn and live unconditional love to each being. The ethos of Mitra is the fundamental part of the knowledge of the universe, which means think good, speak good, and act good. In the summary, stay humble all the time. Trust with your full attention to your soul, which guide you through the invitation. Feel the emotions of your needs and wishes and send it to all, so we can support each other to bring the wind of change on Earth. We are also connected to the communities in the universe and unicos. They learn also from us how to elevate a soul through the emotions and the field strength. It doesn't depend where you are at the moment or what you're doing. Your intention for the highest good of all beings is crucial. You can connect to each all the time if you wish, not only at 9 p.m. I can also recommend the invitation with the Brazilian community each Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central European Summertime. It's a wonderful experience with love and peace. Especially, you can feel your Margraf in yourself. We, the German community, are connected each week with translation in our language. Feel free, trust your soul and the connection to the universe. We all are one, in and on Earth and beyond. We, the knowledge seekers together, bring the change on Earth for world peace, abundance, and unconditional love. Thank you. We can go to the next slide, Rick.
Okay, next we have an extract from the conversation with Claudia and Marie. And this is the latest this month's version of their program. And we'll be starting with the first question. Okay, let me play that now.
For today, and we can go to the questions and answers.
Então essa foi a introdução de hoje E então podemos ir para as perguntas e respostas.
And the first question is how to stop reincarnation on planet Earth?
Então a primeira pergunta é: como parar de reencarnar no planeta Terra?
And the first answer, by elevating.
Então a primeira resposta é elevando-se.
And there is another answer. There is no reincarnation. We have to learn that life on Earth is a manifestation of our soul at the field position strength in the inertia of the planet Earth. We come from and go back to the soul dimension. Let me try to explain. You take a big amount of clay, form a figure with legs, a body and arms plus a head. Also, the essence soul energy is put into the manifestation. So we got a human on Earth. Now at the end, if the soul leaves the physicality, the clay goes back to the total again, the oneness of souls. It is impossible to make the same figure out of the total of clay, so there is no reincarnation. Souls have no time limit. As souls, we go through our circles of experience and learn from it. Please choose the right way, the right ethos, so we can walk towards new dimensions and become souls in the right ethos.
Então a segunda resposta é: não existe reencarnação. Temos de aprender que a vida na Terra é uma manifestação de nossa alma na posição de força de campo, na inércia do planeta Terra. Nós viemos e voltamos para a dimensão da alma. Vou tentar explicar. Você pega uma grande quantidade de argila, forma uma figura com pernas, corpo e braços, além de uma cabeça. A essência da energia da alma também é colocada na manifestação, de modo que temos um ser humano na Terra. Agora, no final, se a alma deixar a fisicalidade, a argila volta ao total novamente, à unicidade das almas. É impossível fazer a mesma figura a partir do total de argila, portanto não há reencarnação. As almas não têm limite de tempo. Como almas, passamos por nossos círculos de experiências e aprendemos com eles. Por favor, escolha o caminho certo, o ethos certo, para que possamos caminhar em direção a novas dimensões e nos tornarmos almas no ethos certo.
And there is another answer. According to the teachings from Mr. Keshe about the knowledge of the Creator, there is no reincarnation. But as we as souls can transmute and manifest as whatever we want in accordance to the place and position we are. We have the freedom to choose between the two dimensions, soul and physicality. As souls, we can travel the spans of the universe in zero time, since we travel on the fields of the universe. We manifest in physicality to learn and experience and expand. The soul, when first created, will exist for eternity. So there will be much to learn and a lot to experience on our path back to where we came from, the Creator.
Então, de acordo com os ensinamentos do Sr. Keshe sobre o conhecimento do Criador, não há reencarnação, mas como nós, como almas, podemos transmutar e nos manifestar como o que quisermos. de acordo com o lugar e a posição em que estamos. Temos a liberdade de escolher entre as duas dimensões, da alma e da fisicalidade. Como almas, podemos percorrer toda a extensão do universo em tempo zero, pois viajamos nos campos do universo. Nós nos manifestamos na fisicalidade para aprender, experimentar e expandir. A alma, quando criada pela primeira vez, existirá por toda a eternidade. Portanto, haverá muito a aprender e muito a experimentar em nosso caminho de volta ao lugar de onde viemos, o Criador.
And there is another answer. Reincarnation is a concept handled in spiritual philosophies. We are a product of our ancestors, earthlings. As we increase the energetic range in our soul, we are able to live in the place of space, in the time, place, and position that we decide. Each being decides where to be.
Então, a reencarnação não é um conceito tratado nas filosofias espirituais. Somos produtos de nossos ancestrais, os terráqueos. À medida que aumentamos o alcance energético de nossa alma, somos capazes de viver no espaço, no tempo, no lugar e na posição que decidirmos. Cada ser decide onde estar.
Okay, that completes our excerpt with Claudia and Marie with Q&A with the Universal Council. And now we have the knowledge and understanding from the previous Knowledge Seekers Workshop, brought to you by Dean and Mark.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you for being present as you always are, and taking the time and sharing your soul so that we can share the knowledge. And I know you have much of the knowledge and understanding yourself. So this is from a topic from the 551st Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And you see it in front of you there, the sort of transcript of it. And I'm going to read some of it. And as we go along, as we read through it together, if I feel the need of my soul says to explain that a little bit, then I shall do so for you. And I'm sure that Mark will be jumping in and helping out along the way. So let's start this reading. So this is why we brought and try to understand the process of the creation through the soul. Because if man learns to create his offsprings through the essence of the soul, that created things does not know how to kill. So in that very first line there, the essence of the soul does not know how to kill, how to steal from another soul. It does not know how to destroy. So it would never physically destroy something. It would never take the energy from another. This goes against all of creation, all of the ethos of the universal condition and the earth condition once we understand more. Because he has learned from point one to absorb energy from the resources of the universe without killing. So that line again, from the universe. And remember, we have this solar man that sits within our structure. It sits in the structure between the matter state of the brain. There's that little space gap, that black hole, that star, that part of creation, the soul of man, that sits there and is creating. It's creating the matter state, which is our physicality. But the essence of it comes from the universe. And in the universe, It doesn't destroy, it gives. Yes, in some of the matters will turn and evolve and become something else, be part of something else, but it's a natural process. So the love of the Creator reigns on all created the same. So it's the same for you, it's the same for me, same for each of us. And it's you who puts the umbrella up and says, I don't want to get wet. I don't need the rain. By behavior, by killing, by the way we've been brought up. So there's the seed of creation has been planted within humanity. And over many generations, we've walked away from the essence of what we truly are. Because by killing, by behavior, by killing, by the way that we've been brought up, because our parents kill and they fed us with it. To us, it's known. We have to come to a point of blanking. No, we don't want to know. So the children of Mitra, these beautiful souls that are going to be present, they won't know this condition that we have present on the planet Earth. They have no need to take the energy to sustain a life because they receive the energy from the universe on a soul level, on a field strength soul level. So they don't need to take in the matter state to sustain the physical form. The expansion of the soul become limited because man has limited by killing his own prison, his own physicality, his own dimension. Where when you receive the energy from the universe, man has no dimension of physicality. And then the universe is your oyster. And this is the whole purpose of the teachings. So with transmutation and the knowledge that's being shared, humanity is coming to understand that the physical form is maybe not the only form we receive or we're part of. But we become so attached to it, it's the only one we think we're part of. When we feel, when we understand on a soul level, we know and we understand that there's much more, there's a bigger totality than just the physical form. And this is the whole purpose of these teachings, for you to learn how to create children of Mitra, through the interaction of the soul. So it means you can use your soul to create. So give from your soul to another soul, create the child. It doesn't have to be in a physical form. It's the intention, it's the pureness of not taking, that is not something that is freely given, so that you will then be able to create this wonderful new child. Through the interaction of the soul, that with it from the first point, instead of going to the shop and you buy the meat, you buy a rice, buy a bread to feed it with, ending another life to do it. You teach how to take energy from me through my soul. So I give from my soul and you give from your soul, and we don't need the physical form of the matters to consume. We know how to do it. We've been born with it. It's part of us. But we have misled to understand it. We call it the love. The love of the mother through the soul can feed the child. Child does not need to kill for it. remember Mr. Keshe speaking about quite some time ago, where he was saying that if the grandparents knew how to give to the soul of their children, the energy of it, so the love and care, they give their soul energy to the children to come, and then that child receives that energy, that transmutation, that beauty, the intention, the gift of the universe, the gift of the creator, that part of us that we've always denied ourselves. A child of man takes a year to learn to walk, because that's the way man has decided through his soul. I need it to confirm my existence. I think I need to read that again for you. A child of the man takes a year to learn to walk, because that's the way man has decided through his soul. I needed to confirm my existence. A child of the animal in the jungle and in the savannah. They come out of the mother, and within the first few hours, they are ready to go. Some within the point of the birth, they already know how to go, to walk. If we have changed that in the structure of the soul of the man, then we can teach our children this through the soul of us, that they don't need to kill. They walk when they come out directly through the emotion, through the motion of the soul of the man, not the physicality of the leg of the man, and the leg can follow. Does not matter what. We need to interact with the soul. Physicality moves without. And I've said this many times, and if I refer to it many times, maybe now you understand in a deeper way when I move the hands and the legs of Naomi. Being behind a glass, never been in touch with, it's a gift we all have. So I always remember Naomi and what she suffered, what she went through, along with others. And there's no justification for the suffering and the position that they had to go through. However, on a level for humanity, the soul of them has given the biggest gift for us to understand through these teachings. And they gifted on a soul level the energy form in the matter of even a whole physical life form was taken, but in the same instant was received. They received the gift of the knowledge, and then the soul expands, is enhanced. And maybe that is the understanding that was spoken about just a little while ago, where we said there's no reincarnation. So in the physical form, the soul receives the energy from another soul. And then for some of us, when we receive that energy, we believe that we live that life. We never really lived that physical form of life, that reincarnation. We receive from the soul, and that soul carries the whole information of that physical form. We say the Christ raised the dead man. He rose the soul, and the physicality walked with it. This is what we keep on saying. We feed the soul, and the soul feeds the physicality. That the physicality does not need to kill, just takes the shape of the time, place, and position in what it loves to be. A minute, the man; another minute, an animal; another minute, the stone. Because all is within the grasp of his control. And then you don't need to study for years to understand anything. You're already through the same channels educated to go. You receive the energy, the knowledge of the creation. I made man in the image of myself, not in the physical dimension, but in the knowledge too. The same as in the love, the same as with all the emotions within me. It's man who has brought himself and degraded himself to this level. Then, if you understood, this does not matter the age, 18 or 80. If you come to the point of creating life in the essence of the soul of the creator, you create that child, the soul of Mitra, within the dimension of the physicality. Then you understand does not need a man or a woman to give life. Hasn't the creator created all of us from himself? Or who is his partner? Then you understand we have not created from, sorry, I read that wrong. We have not created all from us within. Sorry, let me just catch up. I'm reading the wrong bit now. So then you understand we have not understood much about what we think we understood and how we are created from and how our creation can change according to the emotion of the fields that we call the soul of man. Many times I try to teach this to you. Many times with different games and different parts, I try to bring for you to understand. Maybe now you understand. This is why even we established the Universal Council through the essence of the connection of the soul, knowledge, the wish, you call it. It is not a wish. It's the energy of the creation of the peace within the man, for man to learn. There is another dimension that you do not need the physical contact So from those few words there, my understanding of it is, and I think we're all starting to get the same picture, that it's the interaction of the soul that brings forward the creation. And we have that choice. Even though we don't know it, we deny it. We live in the physical form. However, the soul connection that the Universal Council, the German team, and many other teams within the foundation do regularly, where they connect the souls and they start to be present with the souls more and more and more. And as they do this, they become lighter. I've noticed this myself when you actually, when you're present in these teachings and you start to talk about the soul and you start to realize it, understand it all around you, then you start to feel lighter. You become lighter. The matter starts to not hold you so strongly. And then the moment that you stop this presence from within and you start to interact outside of yourself, you suddenly become very heavy again. And then you become grounded. And for some people, this is their understanding. This is what they need in these moments. And this is enough. And that is fine. This is good. However, the soul of man knows the difference and will always be present until you come to the understanding for yourself in this moment. And it is your choice. Mark, would you like to come in for a little while? Are you present?
Yeah, I think you've said most everything. I can try to add a few words and take
Please
a few
do, please do.
Mr. Keshe's words to complement what you've said, but thank you, Dean.
Thank you, Mark.
Yes, and again, I'm just taking a few words from about minute 42 in the last Knowledge Seekers workshop, so you can read all that for yourself. But Mr. Keshe has given us another key or another path to change our understanding of the world of creation in a way, to change this world of creation for ourselves, not so much the others in a way, that there is no need to kill. We're learning to convert or transmute fields of the universe to feed ourselves, and we're learning to convert or transmute fields to bring wellness to ourselves. We're also learning to transmute to travel in a way in this energy dimension. And this is all about destroying, if I could use that word, the system of killing and destruction on this planet. Mr. Keshe asked us to ask ourselves this question: how and where do I want to be? Would you like to create a physical child or a child of Mitra? Would you love that child the same as a physical child? Would you teach it to behave like the Creator, like Mitra? This is what I was working on in the last transmutation test, since I joined late and I missed the instructions. And according to the last workshop, we've taught our children to become a killing machine from birth. Gee, I thought we were feeding the child and nourishing the child, but this is all in the matter state. And so he's asking us to try and create this child of Mitra, that this child can actually teach you. And again, it's not seeing the child. You're probably feeling the child. I'm already beginning to feel the child. But again, this is a learning process, creating a soul. I know the Keshe Foundation has systems to create souls, but we can also create souls, as Dean said. The Creator just created out of himself Mitra as a partner or as a friend, or to confirm its existence. So we're learning to create this child of Mitra through the soul of the man. As Dean said, you don't need a man and a woman to create life. So we're trying to use the soul of the man and the ethos of Mitra. In other words, this thinking, speaking, and acting good to create that child. Again, I think it's a feeling rather than a seeing of the child, although this soul will have the ability to convert or to transmute into any sort of shape it wants. But it's up to us, again, to enlighten our own soul in this whole process. But this is part of the process of ending the destruction and killing on this planet. And he's asking us to draw the line that I don't consume no others. Learning to detach from killing and destruction. And this is part of the reason we need to learn to transmute not only ourselves, but fields of the universe that haven't gathered life. I do like the way he put this. And so this child of Mitra that you're creating or you've created does not know how to kill and destroy. And he said, don't be envious of this child that you cannot do this at this time, but you will learn from this child of how to elevate and move past the destruction and the killing. And therefore, the soul becomes, the expansion of the soul of this child becomes unlimited. And as I said, it's not so much to see the soul or the child, but to feel this child of Mitra. And this is where the emotions, in a way, come in. And the child will teach us to learn to detach. This is part of this process of destroying the killing and destruction process on this planet. So I all think we can do it. Again, it's maybe like the Magrav. We're learning to build the magrav in the matter state, but more and more I'm thinking, of course, the magrav is you. And of course, creating a soul, creating a child outside of the physical dimension is one of the keys to achieving this end of killing on this planet. And this is why he said we need to bring peace here on this planet. It's not only between the men and the women on this planet, but in relation to every created thing that we see in the matter state, because it has gathered the fields of the universe to create life. And we need to use the fields of the universe that haven't created life, because these structures, these creations of life, are meant to go out into the universe and expand the universe in whatever shape and form I guess they can. But we have again, suicided other souls, as he mentioned in the previous teachings, to where they're being released half-baked or not fully mature. And then this probably becomes, in a way, some problem for the universe. In a way, the soul is sort of lopsided. It will still exist, but it hasn't reached its maturity to fully exist. As I used that example in the past, it's like having a physical child, and then at the age of 7 or 8, turn them out into the street and say, go fend for yourself, which I think some people have done, but it usually doesn't end up good. The child gets picked up and abused in certain ways. And this is probably what can happen in the universe, where other entities perhaps would co-opt that soul because it's not mature and it hasn't gained the full understanding. So this is why we're walking away from this killing and destruction. But it's the key, it sounds like one of the keys, again, is to create this child of Mitra. And you can have as many as you like and teach it. And in a way, it teaches you. So that's what I'd like to say about this new path. In other words, a new key Mr. Keshe has given us to change the world of creation for ourselves, that we need not to kill. So thank you. And if you'd like to move on, or if there's anyone who'd like to add to what we've just mentioned, feel free.
Mark, it's Dean again. I'd just like to quickly say that thank you for what you just spoken about, and your knowledge is wonderful to hear. Reading further down the text, I see that Mr. Keshe this is why I keep telling you, we are universal teachers. And he goes on to say we have access to the library. And we don't need much to do because we have the key within us, in the structure and the brain of me. So in the brain of man, we have the key. It's not a physical key. It's a dimensional key. It's a soul key. And to unlock it is not to go outside. You unlock it by going inside, opening up the structure from within. And then once you step inside, the whole universe opens up to you in whichever form you need it to be, whether that's in a form on planet Earth or whether that's a form in the universe, where you can mature when you're ready, and when you accept what you need to be, where you need to be in that time, place, and position. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you, Rick. I think we can move on.
Yeah, no, that one point, the way Mr. Keshe has put it together, that I think we all agree that man exists and operates within the universe. But the other part of that was the universe exists and operates within the man. And this is an understanding I'm trying to really get my understanding around, that the entire universe is actually all within you. And this is something I can accept, the point that I'm existing and operating in the universe, but that same universe is existing and operating in the depths of the soul of the man. And this is what we're learning to, in a way, tap into, to work with, again, for serving the others. It's all about serving. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. It's again, with what you just said, I'll just briefly carry on a little bit further. So I know Mr. Keshe has taught many beautiful knowledges about agriculture and other things. And I know he said this, he's spoken about it very recently. He has a dilemma where he's give the knowledge and we can still use that knowledge. And some of us will want to. We need that, that's where we are. However, the knowledge that is being shared is beyond the physical form. And so in agriculture, with the beauty of it, you're still consuming other souls. You're still taking the essence of another soul. And what we've just been speaking about is being able to create the child of Mitra. And the child of Mitra would not consume another soul physically. So to reach that level, you have to become transparent in your thoughts, actions, and deeds. And when we, all of us, when we reach that maturity, then we do become transparent. We become part of everything. And I know that to many people that have made magraphs and made other tools, they've put and if they're a very big giver, if they've given from their soul and they've given their whole lifetime, they put their physical arm into a field strength structure that's built from the magnetic fields, and their arm goes transparent. Why is this? It's because they're a giver, and the universe understands this and then shows them the transparent ship, the ship of the knowledge, the ship of the universe. Thank you all. Thank you, Rick.
Okay, thank you, Dean and Mark, for your knowledge and understanding from the 551st Knowledge Seekers Workshop and from the rest of your life as well. And next we'll go to floating with Jacko.
Yes. Thank you, Rick. Hello, beautiful souls. In, on, and beyond our beautiful spaceship Earth. It's me again, Jacko. I'm the Universal Council member and representative of the Dutch language. A warm welcome to all of you. Please ask your souls to guide and support you in everything you do. And when you feel so, start spreading this knowledge and teach the others. Because it's the exchange of the knowledge that brings the chance to understand deeper. And by learning more, we can teach more. And now I come to my thoughts and what I've learned from the teachings of the Knowledge Seekers workshops of Mr. Keshe. We often talk about unconditional. But do you feel how much respect there is in unconditional? If I don't put a single condition in my life or in this life of the others, a freedom of the soul appears in our daily life conditions. And to live more into the soul dimension, we need this freedom. Last week, I was at a place where you can swim in a pool with 12% salt water. You don't have to move at all. And you still feel like flying without a weight. The flow of the water slowly moves you into another position. Sometimes someone else comes close or even touches you unintentionally. then both parts take another free position. Our souls do the same. We think our physicality is in charge, but behind the scenes, the souls use the soul dimension to prepare whatever it needs. Changing this point of view is not always easy, and how often we are struck to the physical side, blaming others for this and that. This one belongs to this population. So he is whatever. No, dear souls, please don't do that. Because everything we send out comes back to us. So please choose the road of peace. The ethos of Mitra. By thinking good, we start to speak good. And by following both, we do good. First inside yourself, and then to all the others too. Make your soul your captain means to allow him to set your course. Sailing the oceans, you have to calculate the current flow of the water, the wind, and the position of your sails to arrive where you plan to go. We can try to sail against the wind, but that will not be very successful. Now, with our plasma knowledge, do we manifest a slightly different, higher air pressure, for example, which changes the flow of the wind in another direction? Do we have the trust in our soul to manifest that? Humble asking means to let open the outcome. And if it's given, it's your right. Do we come to the point where, by our right behavior and our soul positioning, we open that door to start a contact with our beloved universal family again? They are waiting for us for a long time, according to Earth time position. And with all the training we do, day by day, this awareness of floating by the soul changes to our perspective. The sense of emotion allows us to do this training. Please continue as often as possible, and even try to do it all the time. Soon we will understand why it's us who have to be ready. Many souls who will choose this way too very soon will need our support, and we have to be ready by then. Please use the soul connection to spread your unconditional love for all souls in need. Use it to bring that change on Earth and far beyond. We love you more than words can say. Thank you very much.
Hello to everyone. Here's Andreas, support member of the German-speaking community. And I want to remind on the 2024 transmutation test, where we can practically train what Mr. Keshe is teaching in the workshops, and where we can discover understandings and places where we have never been before, and it allows us to learn about more about ourselves and how we can bring changes in our lives or in the lives of others or on the whole planet, on the whole universe. And these sessions are every third Friday a month. The next session is on the 20th September, I believe, if I'm not wrong now. I look, yes, 20th September. And if the systems are here to support us, they are expanding the soul. And so it's easier for us to learn that and then to implement that in our own life. And it opens all dimensions. And it's just unbelievable which present Mr. Keshe gave us. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. This is Masfek, representing Bengali language as a Universal Council support member. Last time we talked a little about the early days of the planet Earth, the feeling, the beginning of life on this planet. And this feeling, beginning of life, is part of creation. This feeling takes us to a place where we can create, to a place and a position and time where we can create. So earlier there was a discussion about creating another soul, be it a reactor or a soul which possess some of the soul attributes that we have, offspring. But it's a new collection of fields, inheriting properties of where it came from. In the early days of planet creating life form, that was the case. Earth was contributing its own fields. The material of the earth were contributing their fields. So when we, in a certain environment, certain condition, create another soul, another set of events, if we are to bring it to the level of physicality, yes, we contribute our own to it. But just like any other soul in this universe, we are not by ourselves. There are other entities around us participating as well. And some of them operate at field strength level different from us. But they're all co-creator of this new entity, whether it's a reactor or another soul. The Earth, when our soul came to this planet, the Earth contributed some of its field to it. It was no longer the same soul. it became more, or it has the possibility of becoming something more. But it's to become more, we still need to ask for the light to shine. The lightning in the sky to begin the process. Just like we need a match to strike something, to create a fire, it's the same thing. In order for the new thing to come into existence, we must have this lightning, this field interaction between the cloud and the planet. The planet asks for it, the cloud provided it. So it is not necessarily restricted to the field, the physical level, but level where the lights do not take the same shape as in the visible spectrum that we are used to. Nevertheless, the creation must start with the light. And as we participate in these transmutation sessions, how do we create the spark? It's a lesson. It's a practice of create that, striking the match just the right way, not too soft, not too hard, but just the right way. That is the formula. Striking the match the right way. It is within us. We all know how, but we're not used to it as much. We can do it in many different circumstances with the fields. From creating amino acids in the early days of the planet, were we there? Can be there even now. So if we are to create this elusive thing that we talk about, peace, how we are to proceed to create that spark that will lead us to that peace. We can think about the peace, even in physical terms. Yes, I can walk in the middle of the night safely, peacefully, playing with the children, right? Right then, no problem. I'm just giving a random example of peace. There are many other aspects, and we can imagine many number of things, and the emotion and the feelings that go with it. That's what we want to create. You don't want to live in fear. That's not peace. Playing with the children, that's part of the story that we call peace. So if we imagine this, it's not imagination, imagination is a thought that in due course manifests when it's strong enough. So this is something that we need to be confident in using and manifesting. At this point, in our physical existence on this planet, this is part of the formula. We operate with fields, but some of it manifests in this physical reality. Manifest to be the peace and prosperity we are all talking about is the peace within, imagined into a reality that we call physicality. We are all capable of it. And the confidence to make it real is taking shape on this planet as we speak, in this meeting and elsewhere. So let's delve into the physical aspect of it. So, the physical aspect is not like the zero time and effects of field levels that some of us are familiar with. Sometimes it's a slower operation of fields. So sometimes it takes a little longer. So yes, we can imagine the peace. But do we have signposts along the way? Do we have field feedback along the way to get to that peace and prosperity that we are envisioning? Envisioning to be the reality we know we can. So let's move on to the next slide, or shall we say transmute to the next slide about the communities. And then we will see how it can manifest in communities, where I am right now. So shall we move to the next slide? So today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the events that are happening in the part of the world that is known to be Bangladesh, where I am located at this point in time. A lot has happened since the middle of July. And it started with a peaceful demonstration by the students. And a lot of shooting and all kinds of things happened. I won't go too much into all of these things, but in the end, the student movement became the movement of the people, the whole country, and it removed the government. And the drama that went, and there were deaths. The current estimate is about around, during that, in the last 2 months, is about 6,000 people. And some of them happened in front of my house. So it's very real to us. And but nevertheless, these deaths are not in vain. They are the light. These souls that gave their lives are the spark, the light that we were talking about a little while back. So what happened as a result of it? Well, the students and the parents of the students, the teachers of the students, all joined in. And the rest of the people from various parts of the country joined in. And they just, this shooting of the people by whoever was directing the shooting got overturned, and the head of the government fled the country. What is happening after the spark is the most important part here. The corruption was at every level of the society. Did this story start after Second World War? Mr. Keshe talked about it. Not last Knowledge Seekers Workshop, the one before, 550th. Now, the history is long. It goes back to the several thousand years of creating division, creating fear and all that. It goes on. And that was the same procedure, that was instituted here, sometimes using division of religion, as it was instituted right after the Second World War, which is the division of Pakistan and India, Muslim versus Hindu, so that there could be more fight. And things like that, There is a lot we can talk about the history, but generally you can see this creation of division, fear, this kind of technique is being applied everywhere, so that people do not exercise their inherent capacity to create and overturn the situation as it happened. Yes, the Keshe Foundation group, people involved in Keshe Foundation in Bangladesh, we have been sending energy to the leaders and the people since about like when we started our Knowledge Seekers workshop, which is now at about close to the same number as our own One Nation, One Planet, One Race. So, did we contribute? Well, these people do not need to know anything. We provided the field. We elevated the soul of the people and the soul of the leader. Leaders unveiled themselves that we do this, we are corrupt, we did this, we are creating this crime and all this. Now, since the overturning of the government, what has happened? This is the most intriguing part. Right now, Bangladesh is the only nation in the planet which has complete freedom of press. This is a very fascinating thing. And the student told the media that you can write everything about everybody, including us. No censorship at all. And this we have to replicate to have the peace elsewhere on the planet too. This is an amazing achievement. Now, it has to stay there this way. It can't go away. So the students, they have started cleaning up the corruption. Corruption at the level of, like, let's say, common people. The person selling some fruits by the side of the street have to pay the police, the local mafia money every week. The truck driver with his own truck transporting food from a village to the city or some other place had to stop at every city to pay the police, and some cases other mafias too. So by the time the food was transported from the village to various parts of the country, the carrying cost was more than double. So it happened everywhere in every level of society, these mafia and police corruption. So this has been taken care of within a week, actually. Now the same thing exists at the level of the ministers and the level of the, what do you call it, the government, top level government people, all levels. So all of these are being addressed. These people are being replaced. There is records of it. They did it openly, so it's available. And it's openly mentioned in the media. And the number of political assassination, imprisonment, torture, all are in public. Everybody's hearing about it in the country. I did a search today in various media across the planet about the complete freedom of the media in Bangladesh. I did not come across any mention anywhere. It's intriguing because none of them are. So these are some of the things that are happening. The students are still doing it. The political parties have been pushed to the sideline, which they don't like, obviously, but they're just like the one that got ousted. They're the same thing. They talk, fight, and steal, and kill. Some of the things that we've been talking about, one should not do as one prepares to become part of the universal community. So we are doing it. We are becoming part of the universal community. And the protest was done peacefully. Yes, there was a bit of mob, so, those who were shooting, some of them got, mauled over. But, there is, of course, limit. People were very upset about all of these things. So and as a result of all these media being completely open, everybody in the country know how the political systems are run, from the village, from the illiterate person. There are many illiterate people here, but it doesn't matter anymore, does it? They are all awake, that everybody talks about. And here it is a reality now. Awake of the situation so that we can move past it. Many parts of the world are still grappling to know the situation. We have an example here where the situation is known, the situation has been turned over, and people are doing things to move on to what we call the peace and prosperity. The amount of money that has been taken from the people is astronomical. We are finding, cars full of rice sacks full of money everywhere, in the cars and in houses of most of the officials. And not just money, but dead bodies in mass graves. So these are things that are known publicly right now everywhere in the country. But these are the signs of us moving towards peace. Very tangible, very physical. Does it touch our emotion? It should. Otherwise, how would we learn to use our emotion? At the deepest level, not just the physical level emotion. So the progress is happening. The damage has been done over thousands of years. It's not going to go away tomorrow, but people are working. And the word is that the internet in Pakistan has been turned off. There's student protests going on there. And about India, Shweta can fill us in on what some of the things going on. So, as they say, this virus is going everywhere. So let's see how far it goes, but the virus of peace. And yes, we have struggles and these agonies of our loved ones being killed, tortured, maimed, or whatever else that has happened is coming out, but it's time for peace and prosperity. Let's move on and let's make this available to every part of this planet, and not just this planet. Things are like that beyond the confine of this planet. Let's get there and get it done as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear Moshe. Let's embrace the light, humanity, as we are together. Let's embrace the light. Well, I will say some few words that in India, the same thing is triggering in India too, about the seat reservation of, as Mahatma Gandhi has already done this, what can I say, this differentiated caste people. One word, Harijan, the people of God. And the Brahmin started to say, don't drink a drop of water from this Harijan. And then the government started recruiting them in high positions. So there is a lots of division in castes and creed, everything. So This is happening here also. For the Harijans, there are seats in government high posts like IAS, IPS, many government posts. And now the court is declaring something that there will be very limited amount of reservation for the OBC, the backward class, the low class caste people, as India is used to it in the name of everything they can do. And now tomorrow is Bharat Bandh. The India is closed tomorrow because of this reservation, and everything is triggering in a way. But then, as Mashrik said so peacefully, light is coming out, dear beautiful souls, from Gaza, from all all that shouldn't be happening, but it is. But then there is peace here in our heart and soul. How can they omit all these things? Thank you, my dear Mashrik. Thank you. And let's humanity embrace the light. This is the time. Prepare for the change, dear beautiful souls. Thank you. Interpret every condition within your ability, because we are the image of the Creator. We have kindness, we have compassion, we have love, we have humility. We understand what is true. So let's do it, as Patrick said. Thank you. Thank you so much, beautiful souls. And I will say again, bring the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council as one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace in prosperity and abundance. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Suswagatam, beautiful souls. Have your say. What is happening in your corner of the world? Who are you? Please do share. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome.
Well, we have a couple of questions from our YouTube channel. We have two questions from Caroline, actually. The first question is about the Mitra child. Is the child of Mitra an elemental? Now, I had to look up what an elemental is to figure out. I've heard the term and I have a rough idea what it is, but when I look it up in Wikipedia, they mention an elemental is a mythic supernatural being described in occult and alchemical works, having to do with one of the four categories of elementals, which are the earth, water, air, and fire. So there's gnomes, undines, sylphs, and salamanders. And these correspond to these four different elements. And it mentions here for example, the Rosicrucians claim to be able to see such elemental spirits. But it mentions here that the elemental spirits they're like supernatural humanoid beings that are much like human beings, except they're lacking souls. And this is kind of the opposite idea of what we're working with the child of Mithra, is conceived from the soul realm, or from the soul forces and fields. So it's a different idea. They mention here that if one of these elementals marries a human, then they can receive a soul, and so on. It's a different, whole different category.
Yes, yes, my dear Rick. Mother, if mother exists, then she is no different from Mitra. She is also a mother. And as a mother, I can say all elements that is needed for my children is here with me. You can say anything. And alchemists too, we do these things every day. So this is another perspective because Mitra is not mythology, mythical character, and she is alive. She exists because of our love. Shows she is like the mother. If you have a mother, of course I'm sorry, I apologize. You can see a Mitra in her, and the child is you, my dear. So this is what our knowledge is. Our knowledge is as the whole family unites with the mother, and the mother comes. So Mitra is coming. She came. She is here, and according to the whole humanity, is her children, her family. So this is the Mitra we know. We understand. Thank you, my dear.
Yes, thank you, Sweta. Is there anybody else who would like to say anything about that?
Rick, it's Dean here. May I just say a couple of words? I think it's a great question, and we know there's many things going on around the planet. As the souls of humanity, as the souls present, we are connected to everything. Everything is part of us. And I see that there are Mount Etna is erupting again. We have other conditions around the planet, and we see this all over the place. And is this down to modifications, or is this down to the consciousness, the connection of our emotions with the planet? It's like the three layers of the skin that make up the structure of man. And we get all sorts of things that interact on us. So in the planet, being a soul as well, the skin is going to interact when it has an irritation, an emotion that is being caused by an interaction of the souls. We're all together in a position within this sphere of planet Earth in the physical form. And if we are limiting ourselves to just this one interaction, then the blisters and the sores and the conditions are going to be exposed and going to bubble to the surface. And then the inhabitants, the souls that are present in the physical form that are very rooted, are going to feel this. When you actually bring yourself to an emotion of detachment and you start to work this way, you start to be present on a soul, in a soul position, then you start to rise above this. And you'll find that your footprint will have less damaging effect for the others, because your fingerprint, your emotion, that identity of the soul, that field strength is replacing and enhancing instead of contributing to the consciousness that affects all the other souls. So each of us have a responsibility. Now we understand that some of this knowledge, a tiny fraction of the universal condition, the planetary condition, the soul aspect of being present. And it's for each and every one of us to take responsibility for our own interactions in this very moment and stop saying that it's everybody else. Go within, balance yourself, start there. And we all have to, I have to do it all the time, constantly. We all do. And then the emotions won't be showing so much in the other places. We know that reactors that we build, and we are a reactor, but the tools that we make, we can use it for great unbelievable progress on planet Earth. And the choice is ours. This as soon as I think something, we've spoken about this recently, another person will understand it the other side of the world, and maybe interact with it. So the soul is unlimited. It has no limitation. So if I manifest by speaking and thinking, then I'm creating. So put yourself in a position of elevation and give from your soul to elevate the others. And then hopefully we can turn the corner and replace all that has been conditioned with the condition that we wish in these moments. So that's what I'd like to contribute. Thank you, Rick. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean. That's a good segue to Caroline's second question, which is, are you all non-eaters? I know for myself, I can say that I periodically go without food from several days and up to 2 weeks at one point. But that's my personal thing with fasting, and that's something I do as a regular thing. But what about others? Are you all non-eaters? Are all the Universal Council people non-eaters?
No, for me, I am not a non-eater. Sometimes I skip lunch, skip dinner, because I can do that now. But I am not a non-eater, my dear. I will, maybe in the cosmos we all will be. But here it is. If you don't eat, sometimes your family gets mad, Why my mother is not eating? Mommy, why you are not eating? You will go mad. You will be thin, like that. Such a pressure sometimes. But I am not a non-eater. But thank you for asking.
I'll add a little bit to this. The important part here is for us to learn how to transfer the energies we need to survive. And then we don't get hungry. So yes, we are right now in a position where people expect us to eat, especially when we live in a society. But even within this context, one can learn to transfer energy. Yes, it requires further discipline. But since we know it's possible, we can try to achieve it. And in doing so, what happens is that we don't get hungry anymore. So eating is an option. It's not a requirement. So this is one way to approach it, partly because of our present circumstance on this, in the environment we live in on this planet, but it is possible. And there are various experiments that is being done by Keshe Foundation through the enhancement unit, where you get the, let's say, the indication of how to do it. And from there, one can develop further. Yes, it doesn't happen in an instant, but it is possible. And I know it can be done because I have done it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And what Dean was saying also, and Moshfek were saying, also segues into our question from Pascal in the YouTube, who is asking, is it in the heart that the soul is located and the key to evolution? And they go on to say, I do not understand the brain as the key. So is it in the heart that the soul is located and the key to evolution?
Rick, may I answer a little bit on this? So we've come to understand through Mr. Keshe's teaching that you have the soul of physicality. Soul of physicality, if you like, you could say, it's like many have experienced this, and many spiritual people say that, that it's the heart. So we would call this the soul of physicality. The soul of man is another condition. This is an energy pack that is basically sits within the structure of the brain of man. It's like a creation point, and this comes into the man when Mr. Keshe said this in the past, that it comes in when you're in the mother's womb, and it is placed in by the souls, and you become part of the matter state. And it's your soul has been allowed by the other souls to be present in a physical form. As I said a little bit while ago, the spirituality side says that the heart chakra, the heart is the creation point. It's the creation point of the heart is a pump, as we know, and this is part of the physicality of man. When we speak, we're talking about the soul of man that is non-physical, non-tangible. The interaction of all the matters and the amino acids on planet Earth give us our physical structure. But the soul of the man is the controller who sits in the position of this. It is linked directly to the creator, has no physical tangibility. And this sits in the structure of the head and is encapsulated by the blood. And the blood of man, when the heart stops pumping and the blood drains away from the skull, when the man loses his physical form, this is when the soul is released. So the encapsulation of the soul is through the skull structure, and the blood is basically the circulation is basically the cage for the man. And this is through the teachings and my understandings of Mr. Keshe. So there's my part, Rick. Thank you.
And why do people talk about their feelings as coming from the heart, and they believe that that's the soul or the center of their existence?
I think that's where the soul of physicality gathers, is around that heart region. But the soul of the man that created the whole structure is within the brain of the man, sits there.
And we can maybe feel things through the heart, but the soul's in the center of the brain with the fields of emotion around that in layers, basically. And that we, through our work with the heart, perhaps we can get through those layers to the center and then touch on the soul of the man. Go ahead, Andrea.
Yes, I want to add something to Dean. I remember what Mr. Keshe said in Manchester. It's the important sentence what I ever heard from his. And he said, the secret is in your brain. I think that's all what we need to know. That's our evolution, and everything is in our brain. It's our computer system in every direction. Our field strength. This is the basic form. Thank you.
Hello. It's Mehran. If I can add also, when we talk about soul, we talk about the energy, the fields created by the other fields. So soul of physicality is again energy fields, and there is no special point, but it's somewhere in the area, in the chest area near the heart. That's the center point. That's the center of the body. That's the center of Also, I discovered two triangles which meet at that point. One to the point of the in front of the neck, and one in towards the down. And also the emotional is also normally they call emotional parts somewhere in the chest area, or upper chest area. That's in Chinese medicine, they call it emotional. And traditionally, emotion is in the upper chest area. Of course, emotion of the soul exists also, but and normally we have seen children or adults when they feel very emotional. We put hand over chest area, and they become cold. And some people, they say they have asthma. This person place is the emotional part of the body. But still, it's not the physical, but it's feels, the dynamic feels. And it's a little logic why it should be in the center near heart, soul of the physicality. But it's again not in the form of physical stuff. Thank you.
Secret is within the brain, of course, which is the soul of the man, and your spaceship is within the soul of the man. So that's why I think he's pointing out the secret is within the brain, because that's where the soul of the man sits, and the spaceship is within the soul of the man.
Yes, the design, the blueprint of the ethos, how manifestation has taken place. And as we have gone through all the samyons, we know how your heart felt, you know, I want this, I desire this, love me, as our here in India gurus do. Love me, my fellows, this is love. But actually, when we only talk about physical feeling, when the soul of man and the soul of physicality trust each other, then the scenario changes and you can see the truth. Love became everything, the kindness. Even a mother beats her child in like, you know, not beating like that. No, 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 like don't do this again. That is also a love. So what what uh, what is physical feeling, and then the feeling you have been given. So I have been through this. I have been loved. I have been extremely in love. But then now I understand that was a burden. That was a burden of begging something. Love doesn't need begging. It needs understanding, feeling. So thank you, my dear beautiful soul, for asking the question. Thank you for everything.
Some good answers. Thank you, members of the Universal Council.
Rick, Liliana has posted. Liliana, you want to say about the flood? Any wish about the flood that is going on your corner of the planet? You want to have? You have a wish about that?
Thank you, Sweta.
Oh, thank you, my dear.
Yes, I will. Por ahí dice, comunícales o John que cuando hice la Soul Connection hice mi deseo. Thank you, Sweta.
Thank you, my dear. We are all with you in your wishes. That People shouldn't be suffering, and it should stop in a way. The suffering should stop. Anyway,
Thank you, sir.
thank you. Oh, thank you, my dear. Any other sharing or question? We are all knowledge seekers. Anybody want to ask anything, my dear?
I don't see any other questions here.
Then we can go to the next slide. Jumping to the next slide.
There were a couple of videos that we're supposed to play at this point, I believe. But
Well, we can skip the video. Rick, we can skip the videos and we can show it in the upcoming One Planet, One Race. Or there is an important, yes, there's an important video from Brazil, I think. Yes.
Or maybe, Rick, you can carry them over into the Reactor group.
Well, certainly we could play them in the Reactor group. Yeah.
Yes.
We should inform people, at least there is a new YouTube channel, and just mention it that it's up and running and available to people. Maybe we should put the link in so that people can check it out themselves. Let me see if I can get that lined up here.
Thank you.
I'll put it up briefly and we'll have a quick look instead of sharing the videos, which are 10 minutes or so. So the channel's called, the new Keshe Foundation channel is called the Keshe Space Plasma Technology. And I'll get the link here and post it in our chats. And people are invited to have a look there. It's starting to get filled out. There's an introductory video. There's a breakthroughs in science video about the 129 Tesla magnetic field. There's some educational videos section with the free plasma video. And there's plasma for beginners with 2 of the starting early learning plasma science classes. And there'll be more to come with that, and other things that will be added as well as we go along. So do check it out, and thank you to the Keshe Foundation for providing that. It's a place where the new technology can be presented, basically.
Thank you, my dear. Yes, thank you so much to our lovely, beautiful Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, for all the soul work. Thank you. There is a wish from Claudia. Claudia, we want to say the wish, my dear.
Oh yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
My wish is for peace, and I wonder that stop the power of the ministers of the justice in Brazil that are causing many problems here for the citizens, like dictators. So let's elevate their souls. Thank you.
We are present, my dear. So here we are, here to serve, not to be served, dear beautiful soul. Thank you so much for being here always, with all the love, with all the soulfulness, I will say. Well, beauty and totality, you can say. And again, I will say welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the beautiful, beautiful energy, beauty and totality of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Swagatam to the beautiful energy of all humanity as universal souls. Welcome to the beautiful energy of all the beauty that is, all the love that is, all the soulfulness that is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Join, jump in. Love Keshe Foundation. Keshe Foundation deserves to be loved always. Thank you. I am Shweta Anwar. You sing Hindi language. And thank you again. Salam, namaste, salute.
Thank you, Sweta. We hear some youthful energy in the background there as well. And it's nice to hear in many ways. Okay, thank you all for joining us today for the 340th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. Thank you to the members and support members of the Universal Council who put together today's show and presented it. Thank you very much. And you see, our next public teaching workshop is the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which is held every week starting at 7 a.m. Central European Time on Wednesdays. And tomorrow will be Wednesday, August 21st. And folks are invited if you're a newcomer or old timer and you have some questions or anything you'd like to present with the having to do with the plasma technology. That is a good venue for that kind of thing. All right, I think that's it for announcements here. So that gets us to the end of our show. The end of the show where we can sing and dance a bit and move on in our lives.
Dance, dance, and clap, clap, my dear beautiful souls. All the love, always. Thank you, thank you.
Yes, indeed. So we go out with the flight enhancement spaceship unit, as we so often do in our workshops here. And once again, thank you all for being here. See you in the next public teaching workshop. Bye for now.